I'd like to shave with a razor that's a bit of a departure from what you usually see. It's not really a safety razor, and it's not really a straight razor. It's kind of an in-between type thing. It's made by Schick. This is an injector style. And the way this works is it uses a blade that looks like this. Just a single edge blade. It's only sharp on one side, not both sides. And it comes loaded in this injector cartridge container. And so the way this thing works is you insert the stem from the blade loader into the razor itself, like so. Push it all the way in. And then you pull back on the blade loader. You push it forward, like so. And you'll see it'll slide out a blade and insert a brand new blade. Just like that. Very ingenious design. Very easy to deal with. And that's it. It's got the new one loaded in. So I always just give it a little push forward to make sure it's seated all the way properly. Kind of hear it snap in place. Of course I push it with the edge of the injector box, just up against the side like so. There's two little tabs on the end that will hold it down. I want to make sure that the blade is seated directly in between those. And so this razor, it has on one side here it says Schick Injector, which I'm sure you can't make that out. It's very small writing. It's inscribed on there. And then on the other it says Made in the USA, and it has a series of patent numbers from 101 upward. And just by doing some research, I discovered that this razor is, it's about 70 years old. It was manufactured in the USA between 1940 and 1941. So for a razor that's 70 years old, still in pretty great shape, I think. I'm going to perform a shave with it today, and we'll see how it works out. Of course, I first gave it a bath in my container of barbicide. It's always a good policy. Any razor that you pick up from an online auction site or estate sale, garage sale, friend, relative, it's always a good policy. I don't care if they say it's new or used. Put it in the barbicide for a while and let it sit for 15-20 minutes, half hour, whatever, just to disinfect it, make sure it's clean. And you can get this at your local beauty supply store. It's reasonably priced. This razor is 4 inches overall, like so, top to bottom. And it weighs in at 1.5 ounces, 1.5 ounces, which is just a little bit more than 42 grams. So, just give you an idea on how heavy it is. It's not the heftiest. Actually, it's a bit on the lighter side. But we'll see how it shaves. We'll give it a test drive and see what it does. I've already taken a shower, prepped my face, applied a little conditioner in the shower on my beard, on my goatee area, and I'm going to shave around the goatee. Here's my bowl. I had it soaking in the warm water. And if you purchase a few items from shavenation.com, shaving supplies, you'll generally get a few samples. Here's a couple of George F. Trumper samples, violet, coconut. Here's a rose. Here's a couple of Edwin Jagger samples. So I'll show you what to do with these. Today I'll use this rose. And it comes in a little glass container with a cap. So all you'll do is take your finger, or if you have a little spoon, you could use a spoon. Just scoop out about an almond size. That's all you need. So this container, you could probably get 2 to 3 to 4 shaves, depending on how much cream you use at one time. And so what I'll do is I'll just insert that into my bowl and just rub it around the inside of the bowl like so. And then I'll even take my finger, because I don't want that to go to waste, what's on my finger. I'll just rub that around my brush. This is my chrome brush, one of my favorite brushes that I don't want that to go to waste. So I'll just get it started by loading the brush with what's on my finger. So I'll just go through and I'll just start lathering it up. And you'll see that how quickly, it smells, it's rose, it smells fantastic, very nice. You can just see how quickly that it starts to build a lather. No more than just a few seconds, it's already producing some luscious, thick lather. And it helps to warm your bowl up. And this is an excellent bowl that it's just the right size. It's very easy to mix lather in it, as you can see. And it's only, I think it's $17.99 for the bowl. So not a bad price either. As you can see, got some nice lather there. Just a little bit more. I'll just hydrate it a little bit, just a tad, a couple little droplets of water, and there you go. You can see that it's a nice thick lather. So let's get started with the shave. Let's take the Schick Injector for a test drive. So I'll wet my face. Just hold a hot towel on there for a few seconds just to really thoroughly hydrate the area. You can do an elapsed time of about 30 seconds is good. And grab my second brush and just a little application on the neck area and all throughout, just to thoroughly wet it, hydrate it. Paying attention to the neck area. Okay. I'll grab my brush and I'll just start applying and work my way across from one side to the other. The whole room smells excellent. It's got a very nice, not too overwhelming. It's just a light rose scent, not too strong. It's a great wake-up call in the morning. It's a good pleasing scent. And you just keep swirling in your bowl and mixing your lather till you get a nice thorough coating. Cover all the areas you intend to shave with a nice liberal coating of lather. Oh, by the way, before I get started, I want to mention this. Let me just show you. Here's the new blade that I just popped in. I wanted to show you that, just to make sure you can see this. Hopefully you can see this. You can see how nicely it shaves off the hairs on my wrist. I mean, there's not a problem. It takes those right off. The first time I inserted a blade, this one right here, into the razor, like I just showed you a couple minutes ago, I was going to shave with it, and I attempted to shave with it, and it didn't do anything. So I threw it off to the side, and I said I'm not going to mess around with that, and I didn't have time at the moment. So I let it sit for a few weeks, and I pulled it out again. First thing I did was just take that old blade out, insert a new blade, and that was it. That was the problem. The blade was faulty. So just keep this in mind, that it is possible. I get a lot of comments on YouTube and on the website, Facebook, Twitter. I get a lot of comments that, gents will use a blade and say, oh, it was terrible for me. It didn't work well. It works well for you. It doesn't work well for me. Every blade and everybody's whiskers and beard type is different. So give your blade more than one chance. You may run across a blade as this one. Call it a dead blade, a morphodite. It's an anomaly, whatever you want to call it. It's not sharp. It doesn't do anything. You can see it's not shaving off any. It's just like a flat piece of metal that's not doing anything. So there is a possibility that your blade may have slipped past quality control and just was a defective blade. So try another one. Give it another shot. Try the next day, insert a new blade, or right then and there insert a new blade and take it for a test drive and see what it does. Okay, so after all that talking, I'll just apply a little more. Just a little more, just to warm it up a bit. So by now, I've been growing this goatee for a little while. I pretty much know where it starts and stops. So I will start in the middle. And this type of razor, just because of the way it's built, you need to adjust your angle. You can't hold this with a 30-degree angle as your safety razor. You need to go almost close to flat with this edge against your beard. You'll see like this, in order to get it to shave properly. So I start in the middle and bottom of my goatee and work the way across, so that it stays even, instead of starting on one side and winding up off by a ½ inch or so on the other side. And I'm starting at the neck area and just working my way across. I'll probably perform 3 passes. This first pass is just a downward. And I like this little razor. It's very light. Being only 1½ ounces, it feels like nothing in your hand, but it's pretty aggressive. It shaves the whiskers off. It mows them down pretty well. I'll clear the runways just a little bit so I can see where my sideburns are, just to keep them even. And I will cut those like so and work my way down, taking short strokes. And I know where the goatee, so I'll come down this way, just straight down. And the other side. Okay. And just going around it. And now I will just kind of go up to it. Like so. Just trimming it out a little bit. And it does help you just wipe away your cream so you can see exactly where it's at this point, because once you've lubricated it with the cream, it will kind of soak in and just keep it lubricated for a bit. So you may think my goatee's a little wide. I kind of like it that way. I don't like the pencil style goatee where it comes out very small on both sides. There you go. Okay, so we'll just perform a little rinse. And just re-lather. And another thing is that some gents may say, oh, the rose-colored shaving cream, it has a color to it that may dye or tint or change the color of your brush. In my opinion, so what? Doesn't matter to me. It just seems that your brush may turn pink, and then when you go back to your white-colored shaving cream, eventually it'll work its way back to white again. It doesn't affect the performance of the brush. As far as I've seen, I've been using different types of creams for a long time. Okay, now I'll just go across the grain. I'll clear the runways a little bit. You see those sideburns? And we'll go across. It's a very nice little razor for a 70-year-old razor. Switch to the left hand just to show you that you can do that. If you have the dexterity, you can do it. And actually, if you just work at it a couple times, your muscle memory will remember and kick in, and you'll be able to perform that left-handed pass on the left side with no problem. Now we'll go against the grain on the neck, stopping short of the goatee line. And I can tell that this razor it's got a little safety bar over that blade that makes it very difficult to cut yourself. I can just feel that. So you can be a little bit, I don't want to say reckless, but let's just say that the razor is forgiving, that if you were to make a mistake, you're not going to injure yourself. I think it's okay. Alright, so I'll just clean off a little bit so I can see where that goatee is. And you can see the goatee's filling in pretty good. I've trimmed it a couple times just because I don't like it growing 1 inch, 2 inches long. So I put a number 2 or number 1 actually on it and just thinned it out so it's not too thick. I don't like when it's very long and growing out all over. I like to keep it neat looking. And then the final pass, I will lather up again and just perform a little bit of a final application, like so. And we'll go against the grain on the neck again, up to that goatee line. And some people always ask, why do you perform 3 passes? Well, that's called progressive beard reduction. To keep your skin irritation, your whisker irritation to a minimum, you go down, which is with the grain, like so, my first pass, and then across the grain from the second pass, and then the third pass you can either go across the grain this way or you can go upwards and get an even closer shave. And as long as you don't irritate yourself going upwards, it's okay to do that. But if you find that going upwards against the grain, south to north, irritates your face, then don't do that. Just go across the grain like so. But I will go against the grain because I can get a little bit closer that way. And again, like I said before, with this razor, it's so forgiving that it seems like it's almost impossible to, not impossible, but it seems it would be difficult to cut yourself. So I'm very, very pleased with this 70-year-old injector. And plus the Trumper's cream, it's got a really nice lubricating ability, cushioning ability. It provides just a really great cushion for the razor to glide across. And that will also keep your irritation to a minimum. I'll switch to my left hand here, going upwards. And you see I stretch the skin a little bit, just to get a little bit closer. And you can hear that the third pass against the grain really removes the last bit of growth that gets you that baby smooth shave that you're desiring and searching for. And here I will just wipe, perform the final rinse. And just any fine tuning to just square off all the edges and make it a straight line all the way across. Now is the time to perform that. And what I will also do is just a little bit of cream in here from the brush directly to my fingers, and I'm going to just trim this area out a little bit. What I'll do is just apply it, wipe it off, just to lubricate the area a little bit, and then I'll go in here and just gently go across and clean it a little bit. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And a lot of gents have asked me recently also, what's the proper blade angle? Well, the proper blade angle with a straight razor or a safety razor is approximately 30 degrees, but really, when you get down to it, you need to apply that blade to your face and you need to get a feel for it and you need to move it along and adjust your angle along the way so that you can feel and hear. When you hear the whiskers being sliced off, you'll know, and if you go a little too severe on your angle, you'll also know that it's going to hurt your face a little bit and you'll wind up with a lot of stinging and tingling afterwards. So I can't really tell you the exact blade angle to use, especially navigating across your chin, across your neck, around your jawline. That's something you really need to practice, and that's where perseverance comes in. Just keep trying and keep practicing, and before you know it, you will just have it down, and you'll be able to perform your shave just like I have right now. I have no stubble, no cuts, no nicks. It's very smooth and just baby smooth, very nice. And it's the shave, the holy grail that you're looking for, is the 3-pass, first pass with the grain, second pass across the grain, third pass either across the grain going in the other direction or against the grain like I have just performed. It's your option. And that system you can use with a safety razor, an injector style razor, or a straight razor. You can use that system with each one, and I have videos showing each one. I have several videos on safety razors, many on straight razors, and now I have my first video with a Schick Injector. So I hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned a few things, and hope you enjoyed my little acquisition, this little razor which I was ready to toss because I thought it was defective, and unfortunately I wound up with a blade that was just a defective blade. So don't get discouraged if that happens to you. Just insert another blade and give it a go and see how it works out. And last but not least, I'd like to show you that you can trim the thickness of your mustache and beard, goatee, whatever you might have. If you have a little tool like this, this is a wall trimmer. I've had this thing probably 10 years, I don't know, very long time. And all you do is you insert the little plastic trimmer over the blade, and this is a S1, this is a number 1 trimmer. So you can, this happens to be a corded trimmer, but you can get a cordless trimmer, it works just as well. And you can use this just like so. I don't want to do it because I don't want to trim this out any more than I have it. But you can just use this going with the grain or against the grain if you want to get shorter. With the grain like so, will trim it, but not as much. When you go against the grain, that will trim it more, because the hairs will go directly into the cutters and on an upward fashion, and that will trim it closer. So what I will do right now is I'll take this off, and I'll just show you that you can use this to trim out the line above your lip. I mentioned once before that I can't stand when you wear a mustache or a beard, the hairs grow over your lip. It's just irritating. So I like to keep a bit of a clean line across the lip. And ideally, you could use a brush like this. There's a million different type brushes like this. Just brush it down like so, and that will get the hairs all straight. And all you'll do, if you don't have the brush, just take a towel like this and just go in a downward fashion, washcloth or a towel, and that will straighten the whiskers and the hairs so that they're in the proper position to be trimmed off by your trimmer, and they're not curling under or anything like that. So then you'll just turn your trimmer on, and I just keep a good grip so you don't slip, because you'll ruin the entire setup that you have, and just gently start close to the lip, and just a fine line is all you want to do. And that's it. And if you want to, I mean, you could cut a line through the center of your mustache. You could trim out the middle and make just like a Fu Manchu style mustache. Lots of different options. You can also use this little trimmer to trim your sideburns if you can't do a good job with your straight razor or your safety razor. This will make it a little bit easier for you. Just work your way from the bottom and make a straight line across. That's all. Very simple. Just work your way up from the bottom until you get yourself a straight line. That's it. And that trimmer is cheap. You could probably get that trimmer for under around $20, I think it is. So there you go. Just a final brush off to remove any little razor stubble that might be there, and you're good to go. Ready to conquer the world, right? All right, that's it. Have a great shave. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, on the website, shavenation.com. It's a beautiful day out there. I'm going to go live it. I'm going to go get some. So we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.